In this video, I'm breaking down my picks for Player of the Year in 2026 NCAA men's volleyball. Let's get right into it. From here on out, we classify the 2025 men's volleyball season as the Moni year. It was Moni Nikolov, his show. Everyone else was just participating in that season, but it was his game and his championship to win all year long. Anyone that doubted that, don't know what to say to you. He just was inevitable. But now we get to 2026, and Moni Nikolov is no longer in the picture, so it changes the game. The Bruins, who won 2 times in 2023, 2024, are looking to get back to their national championship ways, but so are a lot of other teams, and so are a lot of other players in the D1 landscape. Now, the trend we've seen over the past 15 to 20 years has been repeats and national champions going back to back. So with Long Beach winning last year, one could speculate that they're the favorite heading into this season because of that back-to-back historical pedigree dating back to around 2012, 2010 timeframe. But there are a lot of other teams that have something to say about that, and a lot of other players who are looking to take that crown for Player of the Year this season. Let's get into my list. Starting with number 7, Cole Hartke for Pepperdine. The 6'10" opposite hitter just put on a show last season. He was a freshman, but he looked physically and statistically like a senior, just powering the ball past defenders. The right side position at the Division I level is a really hard position to play. You have to be efficient. You have to score on the red and on the D ball, and you typically need a good serve to really solidify yourself in that role. He stepped in as a freshman and showed that he could do that better than a lot of people. I think he's the guy on this list that makes the biggest jump from last year to this year in terms of output and production and impact for his team. So while I don't think he's necessarily going to win Player of the Year this year, I think he makes a huge jump, gets a lot more name recognition in the media and overall in Division I men's volleyball, and I'm super excited to watch him play. At number 6, Jalen Phillips from CSUN. He's a player I got to see in person 2 times. First against George Mason here in Fairfax when CSUN came on the road, and secondly when the Matadors played on the road as well at Long Beach against Moni Nikolov. Didn't have their best showing that day, but Phillips is one of the most unstoppable forces in the landscape. He can fly. I think he touches around 12 feet. I think he had an injury in fall ball, so we'll see if that has any impact going forward on the start of his season. But he's a player that is really hard to defend, contacts the ball at the top of the antenna, and while he might not have Donovan Constable this year, and the two of them had a really great connection in the past, I think he's a guy that as long as you feed him the rock, he's going to find a way to put it away. I'd like to see him a little bit more effective as a server with how talented and how vertical he is. I'd love to see that be a part of his game that jumps. But he's always going to be in the conversation for Player of the Year just because he is wicked. His highlights are insane, and he makes a huge impact for CSUN. At number 5, Dillon Klein from USC. Speaking of high flyers, he might be the highest flying outside in the country for the Trojans. I'm looking to see if Klein's leadership can take this Trojan team to the next stage this year, deeper in the MPSF tournament and deeper in the NCAA tournament as well. A lot of the schedules this year for the MPSF are primarily conference games. There's not a lot of extra games, not a lot of non-conference opponents or away games outside of California. That's due to some of the increase in that conference with two more teams added last year, and I think 1 or 2 more teams added this season. So as they integrate those new teams into the conference, everyone has to play everyone at some point. It might not be every season, but really looking for Klein to step up this year and make a big, strong impact. They bring back Blanchett. Wesley Smith returns, Sterling Foley's there, Johnny Dykstra's there. They have a good core of guys, and I think Klein really is the show-stopping force for them to take them over the edge, and we'll see if he can make that happen this year. At 4, we have Tread Rosenthal from Hawaii, some people's favorite for Team of the Year based on who they bring back as a whole. I'm sure they have a sour taste in their mouth from last season, the last match of the year against the Bruins when they got swept in Columbus. But Tread, we know what he can do. 6'10" as a setter, just lethal, powerful, and really a strong player for the Rainbow Warriors. I really hope this is a year for him to take this Hawaii team to the next stage, and I think given all they bring back as well, he can be that guy to do it, and if he does, he's certainly in the conversation for Player of the Year with that leadership that he can possess. So certainly a lot of expectations for Hawaii, but looking to see Tread to have a really strong performance this season and take this team to a height that they've been desperate to crawl back to. At 3, we have Barnett from Pepperdine as well. 2 waves on the list. Barnett, just a guy that came alive last season and was really tough to defend. You could see it as Pepperdine won the MPSF and as they really gave Long Beach all they could handle on the semifinal match. So when you get one more year out of that guy, I think he's certainly a name and a face and a pin that deserves to be in the conversation for Player of the Year. I already mentioned the skills that Hartke possesses, and Barnett has all that, combined with a really awesome serve as well. So he's a full-rounded player. We've seen what he's done this summer in Guatemala, competing for the U.S., I believe the U21 national team. Looking forward to watching Barnett all year long, and definitely a player to watch out for the waves. Next on the list at number 2, we have Skyler Varga from Long Beach State. It seems like Skyler's been playing for the Beach for 6 years at this point, but he's just been a healthy contributor and starter since he's been there in many different roles, starting as a right side last season, transitioning to the outside and proving that he's one of the top pins in the country. I think this year he's the favorite for the best pin in D1 men's volleyball. Tough to say anyone has the full skill set better than him for this season. The question, of course, is no Moni Nikolov. So who's going to be the setter for Long Beach, and how are they going to be able to distribute the ball to not only Skyler, but Hershtinovich, Pruitt, Kandev, Braun, all these other guys that are talented, but of course that setting position is so vital at the D1 and the higher levels of the game. But Varga is definitely a top 2 player for me looking into this season, and I think he's going to have a massive year for the Beach. And my prediction for Player of the Year is Andrew Rowan from UCLA. He's been to 3 national championships and won 2 with a lot of different cores around him, a lot of different pins, a lot of different middles, and he always finds a way to bring that team to the national championship when it counts. He's really elite. We've seen what he can do. Competed a little bit this summer in the VNL for USA, bringing back Rama, Kelly, Thorne, Decker. UCLA looks really good. They do. I'm sure they're going to find a way back to the national championship. That's just the way they operate. And with no Moni Nikolov in their way, I think this Player of the Year is Rowan's to win this season. He's gotten better every year with different people around him, and he's certainly a player that is capable of winning this award. But we'll see. And that's the beauty of this season, is you never know who's going to break out. You never know who is going to have a really good year. There are tons of other players in the landscape that are capable of winning this award, but these are my guys that I think have the best chance off the bat based on what we've seen in the past and based on what is set up with their programs individually. So that's all I got in this one. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments who you think will be the Player of the Year this year, and if anyone can match the season that Moni Nikolov had last year. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Defeats CSUN in 2 sets.